will solely give the sub-region a significant economic facelift, one that may drastically reduce poverty and as such better the lives of many West Africans and the continent by extension. Modou Bajan, GRTS News.
Carnifing Municipal Council is implementing a $1.5 million project at the Bakota dump site. The initiative that kicked off sometime last week forms part of efforts aimed at ensuring sustainable management of the refuse heap. Rohibite visited the site alongside council officials and she now reports. Management has become a global concern as populations continue to grow, thereby adding to the increase of waste dumped on a daily basis. Waste management, therefore, is considered very vital and something that all should contribute to its effective implementation. Lack of proper waste management could be detrimental to health and the environment. The death within the waste thrown every day by people can cause serious hazards to one's health, and not only that, but the smoke that usually light up as a result of the heat generated by the waste is also risky to one's health. When it comes to its impact on the environment, non-biodegradable elements like iron and plastic and even the smoke causes pollution to the environment and soil, as it takes decades for them to dissolve in the soil.
Managing garbage is expensive, because it requires a lot of resources. And then, we are also giving it the priority. And then, it's important at this point in time for me to inform you that, the large chunk of our budget, is allocated, to refuse management. We collect the refuse from the communities, bring it here, dump it, and not only dump it, but we also make sure that it is managed, and then this is what is happening now. You see, we wanted to embark on this, but because of the rainy season, you will not be able to do this amount of work, by virtue of the fact that the place would have been muddy at that point in time. Now that, we have seen, the hazards, the problems that it's causing to people, particularly living around this area, the Bakota and the Manjai Kundas. And then we said, we have to do something.
It is as a result of the risks associated with the waste thrown at the Bakota dump site and the consequences that people living within that area of Bakota and Manjai face that the officials of the Carnifing Municipal Council embark on a project like such to manage the huge volumes of waste dumped at this site.
Our stand is that to make sure that the place is properly dressed, so that at least when we collected the waste that we generate, taxpayers generate, we can collect it and dispose it here in the way whereby it will not harm the people living within this surrounding. Because as you might know, our population is growing unprecedentedly at 3.2%. And studies has revealed that every individual generates 0.44 kilograms of waste. So generating that 0.44 kilograms of waste in a way is something that all stakeholders should come to the participation of how we manage our waste and dispose it.
At the site, work was ongoing as bulldozers moved from one corner to the other to move the rubbish heaps thrown all over the dump site to fill up the holes, as well as making way for tractors and individuals throwing dirt at the area. This area, which has been cleared, was filled with dirt, indicating the careless approach to waste management by many, as they dump waste at any available space, a reason why officials of the KMC are calling on all to cooperate with them.
And this area is to be smoke-free completely in the next few days to come. I hope so.
Smoke-free. You believe that after packing all the dirt to one area, there will be smoke-free within the area?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Actually, I think because of these things, it's so badly managed. That's why you have smoke everywhere. But when it's already compacted in one place, and every time that we dump, we compact it, then it will be smoke-free. I'm sorry.
KMC's finance manager, Jonah Hall, who is also a resident of the area, explained the consequences they face as a result of the smoke and the foul smell from the dump site. She, however, welcomed the move taken by officials, something she believes will reduce the hazard posed by the dump site. It costs money for a place like this to be managed, but officials of the KMC are now set to enforce the anti-littering law to the letter, as a deterrent for those bent on discriminating dumping at cleared parts of the dump sites as well as in the streets. Rohibite, GRTS News. We will be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break. Welcome back. Talks between rebels and the government of Bashar al-Assad are set to open this week, but the two sides seem to have different priorities. President Bashar al-Assad said on Syrian TV that Geneva II must lead declared results regarding the fight against terrorism in Syria, a veiled reference to groups seeking to oust him. The rebels and a section of the international community, meanwhile, want Assad to step aside to make way for a transitional government with full executive powers. We have more in the CFI report.
The opposition group, the National Syrian Coalition, said it will participate in the Geneva II conference beginning Wednesday. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon took a big risk. He invited Iran to the conference.
Foreign Minister Zarif and I agree that the goal of the negotiations is to establish, by mutual consent, a transitional governing body with the full executive powers. It was on that basis that Foreign Minister Zarif pledged that Iran would play a positive and constructive role in Montreux.
For Washington, Paris, London and Riyadh, Iran must accept the conference goal of a transition government in Syria. For Moscow, the absence of Iran would be unforgivable. And while Tehran has refused any pre-existing conditions for attending the conference, the Assad regime is moving ahead. In an exclusive interview with Agence France Presse, broadcast on Syrian state television, Bashar al-Assad established his priority for the conference. The Geneva conference must lead to clear results regarding the fight against terrorism in Syria. More specifically, putting pressure on the countries supporting terrorism in Syria. Assad said the army is making progress in the battle against insurgents and jihadi groups with no distinction. He added the battle is tough and will take time. When you defend your country, above all, you need to fix a single goal, that of winning. If Syria loses this battle, the entire Middle East will become chaos. And thumbing his nose at the goal of the conference, Bashar al-Assad said he would not hesitate to run for president again if the Syrian people so desired.
Central African Republic now has a new interim president. The mayor of Bangui, Catherine Samba Panza, was elected by deputies on Monday following the resignation of Michael Jotodia. For more on that story and others, we go with this roundup of news.
The Parliament of the Central African Republic elected on Monday a new interim president. Her name is Catherine Samba Panza, and she's the current mayor of Bangui. Panza will have the tough task of restoring security in the country. European Foreign Affairs ministers meeting in Brussels on Monday gave the green light for the deployment of 1,000 troops to the Central African Republic. The European contingent will be based around Bangui and will reinforce the African and French forces already stationed in the area. The Congolese army launched an offensive against a Ugandan rebel group based for the past 10 years in North Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Islamist group called ADF Nalu is reportedly made up of about 500 men. They regularly confront the Ugandan army. The group is also involved in atrocities against the civilian population. A strike warning at platinum mines in South Africa from the main workers' union. The union has a massive following among employees of the 3 biggest mining companies in the country. They demand a significant increase in wages. The minimum monthly salary in the sector is 8,500 rands, that's about $800. The companies said the current price of platinum would not allow for any wage increases. Libyan aircraft carried out airstrikes on Sunday against the town of Seba in the south of Libya, where armed men took control of a military base. The town is the scene of tribal clashes that the army blames on forces who remained loyal to former leader Muammar Gaddafi. Last week, at least 30 people were killed here. Libyan parliament declared a state of emergency.